Hi, I go by Pup Max. I used to be in the puppy community. Let's just say I embarrassed myself out of it, as I have done a lot. Um, my mother passed away, and I tried to get her to be more open-minded. Um, but it was hard because she was always worried about saving my soul, and I wanted to prove to her that Hispanic women are just as easily into kink and it could be therapeutic. I'm doing a series of videos talking about the therapeutic benefits of BDSM. And I'm going to start by saying that I convinced my mom to go to a leather store, clothing store, a leather clothing store. And the reason I did, and you think you're sending a Christian woman to a sex shop. And the answer is yes. Yes, I did. And my logic is it's always empty. No one's fucking in the bathrooms. Unless I'm there. I'm just kidding. Yeah. And the staff is very nice, and I was good friends was there when I was going a lot. And it's owned by a Latina woman, and she owns two shops back to back. One is a gift shop, and a Latina woman owns a very popular BDSM shop. I thought if that's not something that my mom can see, I mean, she's a conservative woman. She came from a conservative place, and you don't want to shock your grandmother saying, "Oh my God, dildos and lube," but I mean, she's taking me to interesting places, but she's not. She may want to project innocent kindness, wholesomeness, and because she really does believe in it, you know, fake it till you make it, they say, or just put it out of your mind. Stop thinking of shoot. This is her favorite thing to say. Just put out of your mind. Think of the good things. But her conservative mind couldn't get around that a Christian woman like me can't really run something as racy and exciting as BDSM. So I ordered something, and I went to college and couldn't pick it up. And so I asked her to pick it up. And before she died, she told me that it wasn't my sister that picked it up, which my sister wouldn't care. But it was her. She did go, and she did visit the shop. And it took a lot of muscle work, but I got what I wanted out of her. I got her to say, I'm proud of you, regardless if you're gay or not. I'm proud of you. It took a lot of work, because you're thinking, because of her bringing up. And she had this problem where she was obsessed with the reason I was gay is because something bad happened to me. Therefore, everyone who's gay is just damaged goods on this planet, which is not true. Because that would mean that she was responsible for making me damaged goods, because she was my caretaker. But the truth is, I adored my childhood. I had a wonderful childhood with her. She gave me wonderful memories. She did her best to protect me. If I told her something didn't bother me, we stopped. And we went around, and I met a lot of her people she met, clients, patients, etc., etc. They all adored her. As strange as she was not your typical Carol Brady. And, I knew she was a little bit depressed when I went to college. And I was depressed because whatever I was doing, I needed to up my game. So, where did I go? More expensive costumes, more expensive shoes, more expensive socks, and more expensive underwear. That's my costume. Now, how do you up that game when your face starts sagging and you start thinking about Botox and hair transplants and this? You get into the kink. It's always been my stance. But not everyone in the kink world is a good person. In fact, it draws in, and I'll tell you this, it draws in a lot of bad eggs. They think they can hide amongst gay men who are just playing a part, dressing up, having a fun time, finding someone to try something a little racy to spice up their life, you know. But there are bad eggs who are in the shadows of those clubs. It's not all wholesome. I'll tell you that. I'll be honest with you. It's not all wholesome. Did I date someone who wasn't wholesome? Yeah. Do I think those jello shots are a scam? I was trying to win a contest, a puppy contest, which I'm sad that I can't ever enter another puppy contest. Well, first, it was fixed. They already decided who they wanted. I didn't know anything about black people, so I answered the race question improperly. If you don't know, here's a secret. The top people in the BDSM kingdom or empire is a lesbian black woman who is a total bitch to gay men. She hates gay men. That's what I heard. So, I mean, the top gay leather queen isn't even a gay man. I don't know how that works, but hey, women probably have better business sense than us faggots do. Sorry. Um, I can't bleep it out. Whatever. It's our word. You can say fuck, so why can't you say that? Well, I can. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I ain't gonna say the N word. I never do. You'll never hear me say that in public. To someone? Are you serious? No, please. See, I on my Twitch stream I showed off my fabulous haircut, which for the longest time you'd go to the bar and you'd have crazy haircuts. And I'm just gonna show you this one really quickly, because I like the way this one shows. Let me see, window capture. Eh, this is me, and this is acceptable before Trump was president. Notice the Nazi-ish style garb. A little bit Nazi-ish, Europeans would say. I've heard in interviews. The puppies do look kind of Nazi-ish. The hair is very skinheady. It's kind of racist. It's kind of anti-Native American. But other than that, it's punk. It's your standard punk. It's your standard issue punk that's been around since the 80s. But whether I was older or it was the political climate, people looked at me like I was a proud boy. And look, yellow. And I tried showing yellow. Um, how do I find yellow? Well, if you know about the Proud Boys, they're a ridiculous group of idiots. Um, but we don't even have goldenrod yellow in our forte of mainstream costumage. Like, um, I'm going to show you all the colors that we have. Um, just to show you. Where is it? The muzzles. I'm trying to find the picture that I can show you. I'm doing the same. Where is that picture? I can't find it. But these are all pretty mainstream. Because they had one of all the butt plugs. I could get in trouble showing butt plugs, I think. Okay, well this one's not too bad. I'll show you this one. Okay. So let's put capture 2 and let's show it off. So there we go. You notice the colors? They're pretty basic. They're rainbow colors. You're not going to find any goldenrod yellow, which is the Proud Boys signature piping on the gear. See how I chose a pretty yellow? You know, it's just the colors of the rainbow. Come on. Girls, get together. We don't have shotguns. We don't march like Nazis. Sure, if you feel like... What's that one movie? American History X? Where the kid makes the old guy march like a Nazi. He gets off on it or something. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can find someone in the scene who's into that, but for the most part, I wasn't focusing on that. I was focusing on the fact that my looks were fading, and I actually did get Botox for Groupon, and it made me look like a cat eye, and I couldn't change my face shape. I just, how do you stay relevant? You get kinky. That's all it is, honey. I know that if you're Latino, you know how many guys are Latino in the BDSM world? They didn't tell you? Well, my dad dragged it out of me. So that wasn't very fun. I could only do it in privacy. Behind closed doors, a drink, hanging out at the back of the bar, nice dark seedy bar, pick up a guy. You can't do all this stuff. Like, it wasn't my idea to wear these in public to promote this thing. Like, what are they promoting? They're promoting these fashions. Do you see how much these collars are? $45. $45. The regular one. How much is the hood? This one's on sale for $129. The collar, okay, $19. Yeah, that's not too terrible. Okay, these neoprenes are all $129. Well, let's just say people are tired of it. Let's see what else they got. Let's see. Puppy Park. Hoods, leather hoods. Now, leather is harder to make. $479. Why do you think I wanted to make those? $470 for one. Spend all the time in the world. All you have to do is make one a week. Two a week, please. And a client. If you're good. Yeah. Well, I flopped the competition. I lost all my friends. I really wanted to enter this year. I lost my mom, and I always felt guilty. It's that whole Catholic guilt thing. She didn't want me to feel guilty. She wanted me to find Jesus. Well, she's gone. I feel like the only way I can talk to her is with Jesus. So I do talk to Jesus, Mom, if you're out there. But there's this one contest. We can't do it anymore. I'll be honest with you. I only joined the puppy contest. See, this year they got Anubis as a theme. Right now it's time for entry fees, and I was excited when I had my boyfriend, But now, like, this is what I'm a warning to you who are thinking about puppy fetish stuff. Um, it's been like 10 years since I dated him. And, I mean, I've played with a few guys. Some of his friends keep contacting me. But I don't know. I just don't feel it. Like, it used to be fun. I was younger. I'd borrow my mom's car on a Friday night. I'd drive over to his place over by the ocean. Um, we'd walk down to the local supermarket. I'd buy a handle of vodka. We'd make a few drinks. We'd get in gear. I'd spend the night and I'd leave in the morning. And those were fun. Yeah, that's a session. Um, well, he got a little more extreme. Um, he'd tell me stories about guys who do 24/7 puppy gear, puppy stuff, and I've also heard some stories about 24/7 puppies. Not from the guy that wants to sell you $500 hoods, but by a man who is an older gentleman. I only did older men. Um, they're just more mature and they take care of you better. Maybe call me immature, but I am immature. I mean, I'm wearing a dog collar. It's just, it was sad, you know. We broke up. He wasn't in love with me. He needed a place to stay. He wants to sue my dad. It's just a little problem. It's just, like they say, puppies are mental. It's like, yeah. Well, I got to be the honor of, after breaking up with him, claiming the title of being the most mental puppy out there. And please, I've seen some of these puppies. I know I'm not the most mental one. It's just he had a platform to stand on. It's like, but yeah, no, I got my share of issues. But back to the man who's been in puppy play since before. Like, I'll tell you, okay, before there were $500 puppy hoods, there were a few gimp hoods were still expensive leather. I think that's the price point. And that's what basically a puppy hood is. I have one. I can't get up because I'm not wearing clothes. I tell people, well, I told my Twitch streamers this. I didn't have everything in the video. This right here is your complete puppy play uniform. A cereal bowl and any kind of dog collar that you can find. Sometimes I'd borrow my dog's and then return it in the morning. Say, I'm sorry, I didn't come on it. Yeah, weird. No, it's like, kept it clean. You put water in here, and the guy laps it up like a dog, and he's wearing a collar and not wearing clothes, and he did it in his backyard when no one's watching, or in the house, or he goes to his sock drawer and he pulls out a pair of socks and he throws it like a little ball, and that was the scene. I mean, how expensive is an IKEA bowl? $2, $1.50. Jesus, yeah, not even a real dog bowl. You don't have a dog? Whatever. It's all about the headspace. Now it's see, that's why I can't do the contest, because you have to promote yourself like a celebrity. They're a performer. You go around all across LA, you go to conventions, and you talk about how to make more money for the costume shops, the leather shops, or you're affiliated with a bar, which I wanted to do. I actually did want to be. I took a bartending course, and I was like this close to getting my bartender's license, but they were really hard on drinks and no one order. They told me there's only like 5 drinks that people order. Long Island iced teas, adios motherfuckers, hard Shirley Temples, hard any kind of soda, rum and coke, maybe an old fashioned. That's probably the only one that people like now because of those Emma Stone movies. I don't know. What's his name? Like, or made an old fashioned. I don't know. That's not hard. You crush some orange peels, then you got some liqueur, you mix it with some mint, you got some bitters, you put some ice, you put rum, or is it brandy? I don't know. You can do a rum margarita in margaritas. No, margaritas, yeah, but then you gotta bring the blender out. You just tell them the blender's broken. I don't know. It really depends on what class of the bar is. Or martinis. Martinis, then all you have to know is what kind of glass. On the rocks, tall, straight, ice, no ice. Just learn the details. It's easy. It's been so long. I mean, I had a stack of cards like this thick of drinks nobody ever orders. Like, are you ever gonna order a pink lady? No, this isn't the 20s. You're gonna have something quick and easy, but then you know what? They got a book usually at every bar in the back. She's like, I want a Negroni with Sprite. And you look up what a Negroni is, and you're like, oh, sorry, we don't have that. Um, do you have another drink, or can I recommend you one? I'm sure, just be nice, you know. And then other than that, you talk about not politics. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about money. And there's one more thing that you don't talk about. I don't know. Um, but other than that, you can talk about anything to your clients. You know, just easy stuff. You know, the bartender's supposed to be a neutral person, and learn how to pour a beer with proper head. I mean, it's not hard. I almost passed. But so if I won the contest, I get to sell Jello shots at a bar for free, which I was down for. I wasn't doing it for the money. I had a job. It would be something nice to do on the weekend. And we were promoting my boyfriend's fashion line, which someone stole my boyfriend's time and tried to make his own fashion line with him. And it was me and him that we were schlepping around one of the earliest prototypes of a dog hood before most of these neoprene ones, way back when. Yeah. Um, and then what's his name? Fort Trough came out with the $25 puppy hood, which was pretty hard to beat. It was basically a Mickey Mouse hat that kind of looked like a puppy. But they had other ones. I got a gas mask for $25. Fort Trough did some affordable things for people. You gotta like that. But yeah, I'm not a showman. I only did it because he liked contests so much, and I figured, hey, it'd be a good excuse to go to the bar. Then I became an alcoholic and got into a bar fight and can't go back. No, I'm not gonna enter the contest. But I thought I'd let you know that way back in the day, in my city, that's a big city. I think I've m- spoke to everyone on Craigslist who was into the kink scene. If they check their email, there's probably one from me in there. To be a contestant, you can apply. Yeah, you know, I lost all my friends after I broke up with him. Got labeled the craziest puppy there. No, I was a pariah. Got called a thief. I never stole anything. I never stole anything from my lover. Why would I do that? Why would I need anything of him? He's the one that was donating time. He's the one that gets free rent. Sorry. I'm just I'm bitter that it made me so bitter. So now every time Now that with a bad relationship, he was emotionally unavailable because he wasn't in love with me. So we broke up. It took me a long time to start dating again. I'd be like, oh, I feel like pupping out. So I put it on. I lay on the bed. I think of a fan fiction story that I read somewhere on the internet. I jerk off. I look up the ceiling. Like, I feel like a loser. And I just throw it on the floor and I'm like, I'm done with it. And that is me popping out these days because it just doesn't have the charm that it did when it was simpler. It was a simpler time back then. Yeah, it looks cool. We wear latex. You know. Latex wasn't hard to make. I'm just so depressed. My friend will always get frustrated and rip his creations apart. It took me like an hour and a half. I have all the tools. It's easy. It's just... Yeah, that was my first one. Still good. Still good. I used to research all these new materials. Like, this is pretty thick. This is the catsuit I bought, which is using a very thin leather. It's practically melted. It smells bad too. It's probably toxic. Usually they only last like 2 years before you have to buy new ones or the sun damage them. I was looking at new types of materials. I didn't like neoprene. Leather, I have a leather serger. I'm over there. My lovely $200 Singer mechanical sewing machine, which is coincidentally, the same one they use on RuPaul's Drag Race that all the drag queens get for free after they get to the cars, but they're only $200. But it is mechanical. You need mechanical to sew through leather. Otherwise, you're gonna break your needles a lot. So yeah, $200 well spent. If I had the energy, but then you get depressed. So, word of warning to guys entering into the world of puppy play. There's a lot of. I know that you feel. Well, if you're like me, you feel like a need to connect to it somehow. And you only get disappointed. You know? I mean, is it just my looks? Like, is it just because my looks faded? Or did Donald Trump ruin it for us? If you're very politically active, yeah, puppies are good. Um, for a while, we were getting very popular with trans people, agender people, autistic people, social groups that aren't typically accepted. Puppies were very accepting of everyone because sometimes you don't feel like you're in your body. I mean, luckily, even though I like drawing women, pretty Barbies, I didn't want to be a woman. According to my mom, I wanted to be a woman. She'd always ask me silly questions because she knew I was gay. She couldn't figure out. It's like, do you want to be a woman? It's like, oh, because I used to wear my sister's princess dress? No, Mom. I just draw pretty ladies. I haven't worn my sister's princess dress till I embarrassed my dad in front of his friends when they came over. And then that's when he became a homophobic. He was so embarrassed that they were making fun of his son in a princess dress. And it went from just playing dress up with my sister to feeling dirty. Well, the pup thing helped me get out of that feeling of dirtiness. You know, you put on a dress and you feel like, I feel gross. I feel like people are grossed out by me. But, as I got older, I don't know. You know, maybe that outgoing asshole did bring something in me. You know, forcing me to wear this stupid collar. I bought my own, so that way I'm my own owner. Because technically, whoever buys your collar is your owner. And if you break up with them, um, you shouldn't be wearing that collar because that's their collar and you're not their property. Property. Don't worry, your organs are safe with the LA communities. Nobody's trafficking you to South America or China and taking your organs. Uh, they're just men that want to have a few hours with a guy who's a little more cyberpunk. That's what I get called now. It's like it's not Nazi clothing. It's cyberpunk. It's like yeah, it basically has its root in gay men trying to look tough. They try to look tough, you know, because they're always getting beat up. What do you think it is? You think I'm gonna go march in the Proud Boys march? No. Just because of a mohawk, you can't even walk through a Home Depot without getting looks. It's like there was a difference. I wish I could go back to being anonymous and just doing this stuff in the darkness like I used to. But it's too late. You have to roll with the times. I'm just saying that puppy play, it was very few men on the internet. A bowl and a collar was all we needed. You could spice it up. You know, now everyone's all excited to get new ways, but I mean, the scene kind of died out. But you know what didn't die out? Me and all these loser guys, we still like we still kind of miss the good old days. But yeah. So you might get depressed. Sorry, this is depressing, but look, they're gonna sell you glitz and glamour so that you buy that $500 dog hood. Then you're gonna wear it, you're like, it's cute, and yada yada yada. And then you're gonna have assholes who wanna sell even more. Tell you it's 24/7. And oh, right, I forgot to tell you the story. So he told me there was a woman, and she agreed to a couple, a man and a woman couple, to be their dog. And she stayed and lived with them for 10 years as their dog. The sad thing is, they broke up after 10 years. 10 long years. And so they gave her $10 and a bus ticket. And she was a dog for 10 years. So she didn't have any belongings. 10 years and nothing to show for it. You know, and that's the honest truth about being a 24/7 dog. I mean, I met one guy, and he wanted me to reduce everything I own to the size of a shoebox. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, um, it's fun when you're in bed with little thing of poppers or whatever, and you have a quick wank, and you fantasize, and then you go to bed. Um, it's boring being chained up outside for 8 hours a day. It's not really feasible for people to do. Um, it sounds good when you read it in an erotic fiction, but just stick with the therapy, stick with the good guys. These guys who want to get all extreme sports on you and you're brand new, maybe they're just taking advantage of your body. Don't trust everyone at the bar. Go, have fun, but don't have expectations. Have a shopping spree. Maybe go to the little kinky store and pick out some cute things. Like in this, I got what? I got Skechers. Um, those socks I think were a gift from the contest. I wore those. The knee pads were from Fort Trough. Those were $25. Um, I think that pair of shorts is the one I showed you. So I made that one. I was wearing my own creation. The gloves, the puppy mitts, I used to go to Big Five, so those are boxing gloves. I'm wearing a bandana. I bought that at a leather store for like $5. Harness was a gift from an ex. That's pretty expensive. That was like $200. But you can always borrow gear. The chain collar, that's a real dog collar, which my boyfriend stole. And he put on his puppy, so apparently, technically, I own his puppy, which I didn't want to. And the haircut, I did it myself. So, all in all, 200, 205. Gloves are probably 35. So 240. Materials, maybe $10. 250. Eh, under 300 bucks. That's still a little bit pricey. Yeah, but I mean, I had most of the stuff. I collect over the years. Just that's not a Nazi, honey. Don't think that puppies are Nazis or cyborgs or whatever or communists. It's like Jesus. When we're more inclusive than a lot of these people that are like, who's a bigger Nazi? Uh, a gay BDSM puppy who includes trans people, agender people, autistic people, non-binary people, people who don't fit in, outcasts, or your social club of white only, ship everyone to South America and call this guy the most bigoted person. I'm sorry. What race of people have you dated? I'm sorry. If you look at a map of people I've dated, there are dots across the board. A through Z, 1 through 1,000. I don't know latitude and longitudes, but everywhere, every country, I've probably I'm a big area code ho, hun. So don't tell me that I'm scrutinizing. I mean, you don't have to be like, you don't like Asian guys, go for it. You don't have to be charitable with your body, but I'm just saying it never got in the way of meeting their inner soul. And hey, that's what puppies do. They go with their inner soul, even if they look like freaks on the internet. Yes, puppies are mental. But you know what? I'm too old to care anymore. I'm really too old to care anymore about being popular or owning a $50 t-shirt or $200 kicks. Unless it's for work. But, yeah. Just, you know what? Dip your toes in it. Try it out. But don't be afraid. All you need is a bowl. Just to try it out. With someone you trust. And you could have a good time. Maybe you can do better than I did with the scene. But don't prioritize making money off of people gullible for the next fashion trend. I wear this maybe because I am a little autistic. And it gives me comfort and it reminds me of the good old days. I'm not showing off my sex. It's just he used to put it on me and made me feel loved, like a wedding ring. But it's hard to say all that. It's like, you know, Jesus is watching you. That thing is evil. Lady, I wish that you did a lot more for me than I remember. Thank you, God, for allowing my mom to have the strength to visit that kinky sex shop, even if the kids at the counter giggled. Thank you for being brave and putting yourself out there for me. And I know you found Jesus. So, but I, I debate whether throwing this thing away, but then I also want to keep it and hold on to things. Just, I know you might get sentimental that way. Things get older. It seems hopeless. You get called a freak. But, maybe the young people will do something so that you don't have to feel like a freak. Like, the people before me, the generations before me, they felt like bigger freaks. And they couldn't, like, throw their collars and stuff away. I had read one story. He used ballerina store leotards to do all black. And then he had, like, I don't know, a ski mask. And then he sewed a pair of socks to look like gloves. Everything was homemade and shoddy. That story. You had to make your own shit. But don't feel like you have to look impressive. If you like it, you like it. But I won't judge. I, I never judge. Well, I do judge, but I try my hardest to stay open-minded. There's good people in there. Just be careful. There's bad people in there too. Any bar, there's bad people. Guys who roofie girls. Girls who roofie guys. Girls who roofie girls. And then not like my ex. He takes his own roofies. He roofies himself. Oh, he was a mess. But yeah, don't be afraid to start off cheap. I mean, it may not even be the thing you want. It may just be color of the week. Hey, weed's not my drug. Nah, vodka is. I gotta quit. So anyway, I'll take enough of your time. But yeah, I hope that helps you understand puppy play a little bit more. And my last word is I've always felt it's more appropriate behind closed doors in your bedroom instead of out on the street, you know, just to sell expensive gear. You're not advertising your sex life. Like sex is money, sure, but for people that it means stuff to, like, you need someone intimate that you can trust. You know, none of the. That's why the contests don't work for me. I mean, yeah, closed doors, a nice dark seedy bar. That's kind of like closed doors. I mean, you have a bouncer. You ain't going in there if you don't know what you're getting into. Like, you know what kind of bar this is. You look like you need to go down the street to that bar. So they know what they're getting into. But if you're going to a warehouse party, you bought tickets, you know what you bought tickets for. So just don't do dangerous. Don't do unprotected sex. You can do a lot of puppy play. This is why a lot of people like who are AIDS positive like puppy play too. that you don't have to do all the cum stuff, the sex stuff, and the fluids. You can find ways where you can use your brain to get you off just as well. And yes, you can't really catch AIDS from oral HIV. I've tested that theory. Terrifying, but yes, just make sure that you don't have any cuts. And if you don't feel safe doing it, don't do it. And maybe start with PrEP. They have medicine now. Don't go out there unprepared. And don't trust everyone, even if we're gays. I'm just saying. Those drunks at the bar that are barflies, I'm tired of them. Giving bad advice. They drink too much. Don't drink too much. But play safe, and you don't have to go all in. It's easy ways to get into the brain. This is your best sex organ. That's my last word. That's your best sex organ. Alright, have fun. And don't be like me. Don't get depressed. Don't get hung up on some loser who doesn't pay attention to you. Find someone you love that you can explore with.